cuck losers. Today I'm here to teach you how to properly allocate space for the mouth and eye animation sprites for GBA FE hack boxes. I'm currently using GraphicsGale. I feel like this is a very good program for this. You have so many tools at your disposal, and yeah. So now, first things first, this grid I have here. Very important to allocating the space. And if you're wondering how I got the grid, right here there is a button called Custom Grid. If you mouse over it, you'll see that little tooltip. So normally you have no grid. You really want a grid for this. You need a grid for this, I would say, honestly, unless you're some sort of fucking pixel guru. So anyways, you click custom grid, you click 8x8. 8x8 is what you're going to be using. The only grid you should be using for this is an 8x8. Either that or the basic pixel grid for when you are actually making individual adjustments to the sprite. But that's for another video. So you may be wondering, how do you determine how much space you want to have in a hack box? And in the portions of the hack box, I should say. And you may see here that each of these is split into 4x2 chunks. Now we're going to be working off that to make them. Now this is a completed hack box. I did this less than a week ago, and I know it works. I've tested it multiple times. It's perfectly fine. It functions in FE editor. Anyways though, so for the mouth, you're going to want to start here. Now, you may wonder why I'm starting so far away from the mouth, and the reason is because if you do 4x2, copy paste, you get a lot of the neck and you get more of the head. We don't want that, because we want to focus solely on the mouth. That is the objective. Like, these ones are supposed to focus, these 7 are supposed to focus on the mouth, these 2 are the eyes. So we start further back over here. And the whole reason that we do that is so that way the mouth is the main focus. Now, of course, about half of the box is taken up by the shoulder. That's not a problem. You see, not every sprite is going to have the shoulder coming up like this. There are some sprites, like for example, I believe Innes in FE8. I don't believe he has a shoulder that comes up like that. I could be wrong, but basically in those sprites, oh my god, in those sprites it would be just the mouth. It would be this part of the head, you have the chin, you have the mouth, and a little bit of the nose, but that doesn't really matter because we need a 4x8 square. Now for the eyes, we don't have the neck to worry about, we don't have empty space in the face to worry about. We can go closer, we can go here. We just don't want to get the ear. Too many times I see stuff like this, where you take this and you're getting the eyes, but on some sprites you'll clip the eye if you do that, and it's obvious not to do it there. But on other ones like this, you just barely get the eye. You want more space to the left of it so you have more control of the eyebrows if you're going to use the eyebrows. You really shouldn't most of the time. They kind of get wonky with it. But you'll see, though, we have the ear. We don't want that in there. You're focusing on the eyes solely. So for here, we would go like this. Copy, paste. You'll see, like I said, it fits perfectly with the outline of this working one. Obviously, you're not going to be working with versions of the eyes and the mouths that are perfectly fitting. But you get the idea. Is that you want to aptly determine your space that you are allocating for the eyes, how much is empty space, because you need empty space in there. You don't want it to be just face. You don't want it to be just mouth, or just eyes, or whatever. So you want some empty space because that's just how FE editor and how the way the GBA engine works likes it. So, like that, not like that. And the same goes for the mouth. You don't want to go here because especially here because you're getting way more of the neck, you're getting way more of this chin area, you're getting way more of like the cheek. You don't want that. And then, as I said, obviously here doesn't work either because you're still getting that chin area, you're still getting that neck area, even though you have part of the shoulder. Because the shoulder doesn't matter. You might as well consider the shoulder to be invisible during this. Though, you need to keep the shoulder there because of how the engine works. If you don't have it there, I believe that during the animation for talking, that part of the shoulder would clip in and out of existence. It would be an absolute nightmare. So yeah, just like that, you'll see it fits very well. All of these should have the same outline. Most of the sprite should be the same. You don't want to change much of the face. Here, there's this portion here, and that positioning will change depending. But generally, most of the shading pixels you don't want to change because if you change too many of them, it looks very wonky. And, you know, it can depend on the sprite. Some of them can go for more change than others, especially I've noticed Fire Emblem 8 sprites. They're just, in general, more detailed, so the shading might change slightly depending. But for the most part, you want to keep the pixels as similar as possible. And oftentimes, you'll be working off of an existing sprite. 99% of the time, you should be working off of an existing sprite. And if you're doing that, you should have at least something else to go off of for a guideline of like how the mouth should be or how the eyes should be. It's just a matter of recoloring them after you put them on because, you know, you see here, I'll even go to count colors used. 15. You need to have 15 or under. That includes the background too. This green counts as one. If I made this invisible, it would still count as a color. So you need to make sure you are under 14 for the actual sprite itself and then reserving 1 for the background. So you would be recoloring. But that's a whole other video. Anyways, that was the end of my tutorial. Hope that helps. Please get this right because it saves you so much headache having to check it over and over or playing guesswork on, you know, where do I start with the box. Like you generally, for the boxes on the eyes and the mouth, you start from the left, you go to the right. But yeah, it saves you so much pain and suffering. Yeah, that's about it. Later.